Ladies and gamers, my name is BelleNOiR and you are watching Cast My Game episode 5. We are starting right now. Thank you for tuning in. Today, as usual, we have 4 games for your pleasure that I will try to cast to the best of my ability. But before we get on to them, I have a couple of announcements and a couple of corrections to make. Last broadcast, which was Friday, I announced that BelleNOiR Followers Tournament number 8 for $100 prize pool will be played May 11th, which is the next Saturday. Not true. You see, what happened was that I thought I had a weekend off, so I went ahead and made the announcement, but straight after, I think the next day or sometimes during the weekend, I realized that actually I'll be out of town. So what this means is we are moving the tournament forward by 1 week. So it won't be May 11th, it will be May 18th. Which means the sign-ups will be moved as well, so they will open the coming Monday, which should be 13th, May 13th, Monday. In the morning is when the sign-ups will open. I will make a post about the tournament this Saturday, or rather Friday, because I won't be here Saturday and Sunday. So the tournament will be happening 1 week later than I previously announced. I should probably put it into the video description on YouTube, just in case any guys are taking cues from that. So I'll make sure to do that and tweet about it as well. So that's one thing. In other news, I will be one of the main casters in the Dutch StarCraft League finals event, which is live finals in The Hague in Netherlands, and I have been invited to cast those games. It will happen on June 1st. Which is Saturday, again. And there will be a lot of other personalities and casters there as well. For example, Maddles and Lurlian, who recently have gotten a job of casting for WCSEU. Big props to them. And there should be Rotterdam, and as far as the players that most probably will make it onto the finals, I know at least Grubby, Red, Poyo, Harstem most probably will make it through. I don't know about the other 4, but I think those matches are going to be quite insane and quite good. But at least these 4 should be there. So I'm definitely looking forward to meeting everyone. If you are from the Netherlands or if you are planning to go to the event, tweet at me. So that we can make arrangements and drink some beers together whenever I have time to do so, which will not be often because we'll be casting pretty much 12 to 14 hours straight. We'll have 2 streams rolling. So yeah, so that's for the announcements. Let's jump into the first game after I check the chat. And we have almost nobody watching. We have 5 viewers, that's nice. So welcome Wardy or Ortan CZ, Mac SC. Let's look at the first replay. The first replay is going to be the shortest game we have in our programming today. It is going to be a TVZ on Newkirk Precinct. So let's load that up. I actually forgotten who submitted this replay, most probably because it did not get submitted via email, but instead it was submitted with a link either on the Blizzard forums or on Reddit, so I have no freaking clue what is going to happen here and who submitted the replay. Nevertheless, let's get on with it. Newkirk Precinct, a map that is, I think, no longer in the map pool, so that means this replay is from the previous season. We have Fogel, the red Terran, spawning here in the left, and on the right side of the map we do have Sureka, the blue zerg. Now, Fogel, just for those that don't know, if you actually spell it with a V at the start, or a capital V at the start, it is a word from German. It means bird. So Fogel is going to be the little bird here, and I wonder in which way he will open. Meanwhile, we see that the Zerg most probably is going to go... Wow, this is very interesting. I was about to say he's going to go 15 hatch, but no, he's opening up with a gas first. This doesn't seem to look like an extractor tree. Oh my goodness. All right. Okay. Okay. So he's definitely going to go for some really early pool. I mean early link speed. Just judging by the ordering of how he's putting down his buildings. Meanwhile, we have Fogel putting down his refinery, starting mining gas happily. This will of course not be enough for a Reaper just when the barracks finishes, so I'm expecting to see some Marines being produced out of there. He is selecting the barracks, but he's not... Okay, so he is going to wait for the 50 gas for the first Reaper. This is quite alright, you know, if you want to be getting a factory afterwards, or most probably an expansion. Using the Reaper for scouting purposes, of course, and a little bit of harassment, keeping your Zerg opponent back in his base, and there we go. The link speed started. What I'm more curious about, though, is that there is no expansion yet, just now sending the drone down there to build it. So, you know, this of course is very safe versus a number of things. You can defend way easier versus Reapers because of that earlier pool. You can defend way easier versus Hellions because of that very fast speed, without the need of actually building a Roach Warren. And you'll have your gas count pretty much higher than you would normally have had. And here we go. First lings are being produced, but this Reaper should kill them, should take care of them. So, you know, if he kills all of them, actually, it might just so happen that Sreka will not scout this the timing of the expansion. And behind this, we do have a factory, still only a single gas. So there are two ways to follow this up. You can either go with a double barracks or go with a double engineering bay. After you get that factory, additionally, but we'll have to see what play Fogel has in mind here. As oh my God, he actually gets the SCV. Are you kidding me? Alright, so a third command center instead. Alright, I'm feeling it. Only one gas still. Let's see what the Zerg is doing though. Pretty much just pumping drones at this point in time. The crucial thing for him is that, you know, he did see the expansion going down, so he knows this is not some sort of a one base play, something to the effect of continuing this on with Hellions, Banshees, and stuff like that. Tech Lab finishes on the barracks, and wow, this is a really greedy play. All right, so a Reaper opening into Hellions, most probably, or Widow Mines maybe. No, it is going to be Hellions. So, into Hellions and into a third CC, into double engineering bay, and now Sreka sees this and he's got to be like, man, I'm gonna all-in you so hard right now. Of course, the best way to do it is with roaches, banelings and roaches. Banelings to bust down the front, and then just roaches because they don't die to Widow Mines as easily as lings and banelings do. But instead, Sreka, we see that he's taking a third base. Now, Fogel is, of course, going to employ some harassment tactics here with these 4 Hellions, as he's trying to secure this very greedy play with Widow Mine production, which is really smart, you know, granted. It's really smart. He'll have very fast upgrades. He'll have a decent defense versus banelings and lings. In case he's getting all in, and he's got map control at the moment, so he pretty much knows everything that will be heading his way. He will get an advanced warning, and well, a little bit of a supply block there. So, just wondering, it is about the time when additional Raxes should be going down. Oh, nice hit on the drones right there. These Hellions are getting fired upon by the Queen though, but Sreka really careful with those Lings. Does not want to lose them needlessly, wants to be making very cost-effective engagements, cost-efficient trades. Let's see what how the drone count is looking. Well, he's not that far ahead, 45 to 32, considering that the Terran has triple command center back home. He can get a lot of minerals, he can get a lot of infrastructure, and indeed we do see 3 additional barracks being added on. Stim is halfway completed, 1-1 getting completed as well. Where do we have the armory? Do we even have the armory? No, we don't, and it is just about the time he should be getting one, just in case of mutalisks. But as I say it, this layer is tremendously late, and the Baneling Nest only just now going down, as well as the double evolution chamber. So I think Sreka forgot his build order there for a little bit, or forgot to macro. And this is a lot of Widow Mines pushing forward with no map control. Sreka is going to have 0 ideas about this. Oh my god, and they are burrowing. Perfect position. Now he can stage his attacks from this location, just poking with the infantry forward, or with the Hellions even. And whenever there comes a time when the Zerglings come in and try to kill it, the Widow Mines will of course defend this quite handily. He has to be careful though not to get his own units killed by the Widow Mine explosions. And well, this is not what you want to do, Sreka. Moving your links just a couple of groups at a time would be actually, maybe he wanted to get rid of the cooldown on the Widow Mines, but he's got nothing to follow this up with. And only just now we have 32 links in production. No upgrades being researched yet, so in all of the heat he's taking right now, forgetting a little bit that you should upgrade your army. And look how ahead Fogel managed to get with this. I mean, this was a really low number of units that he had used for that harassment, and well, just to be quite frank, he forced out a ton of Zerglings, killed off all the defending ones, and prevented any more drones going down, and even killed some without almost losing anything. And, you know, while these Widow Mines are here, this is... Sreka should really not try to trigger them, but should try to go around like this. This is also a very nice Widow Mine placement here. And, well, Fogel, he's gonna have an outrageous amounts of Marines very quickly here. Spire going down for the Zerg. No 4th base being taken though, and still no upgrades, whereas we see the Terran is getting +2/+2 already. And, you know, it's not the perfect of build orders by any means, but it is getting the job done. It is very greedy, relying on, you know, on your perfect defense, on your very good scouting, and on the amount of pressure you will put on the Zerg. Of course, if you are getting all in with this build, it's going to be very hard for you to hold this off, because, you know, a Baneling Roach all-in off 2 bases can cause a whole lot of trouble for the Terran if he's going with a 1 Rax into a factory Hellions, into 3rd CC, double NG Bay, and then starts adding on barracks. So this is a Zerg way to play Terran, basically. Okay, here comes the attack. It's just the infantry supported with Widow Mines. The Spire is getting close to being done, but honestly, this position, this is just way too good for the Terran player. And, well, the Banelings actually annihilate most of the infantry, the Widow Mines not being in the best of positions to prevent that. But now these Lings will for sure go down. Oh my goodness, look at that salvo. Annihilating every single defending Zergling that Sreka had here. And on 3 bases with multiple barracks, huge upgrade advantage. And no Mutalisks out. Actually, I'm wondering why Sreka has not produced Mutalisks and instead is losing all of his larvae, using all of his larvae on Lings. Those are not going to do anything versus this force. And if we look across the map and see what kind of reinforcements Fogel is getting, it's it's almost an unwinnable situation here for the Zerg player. I mean, he does have detection finally, but a little bit too late. The third is being taken over there, which should have been the first third to take, honestly. Or at least having map control to prevent this one in the pocket expansion going down. But as it is, again, with very few units, with a huge upgrade advantage, Vogel is able to pretty much kill everything here. Sure, these Marines might die in the end, but well, will not even die. But look at what he's got back home. Could have been macroing a little bit better off of this. That is actually true. And he realizes this. Oh, this is a nice move, loading up the SCVs, and well, Vogel, I mean, Streka just leaves the game. What has he seen? Probably thought that he was too far behind to pull back. These Widow Mines still here. These Widow Mines still here, and yeah, another push on the way. That could not have ended well for him. Vogel playing really well, establishing a huge lead early on, and just never letting go. Alright, so that was game number 1. Hello there, Costa 1. I almost thought the ground swallowed you. I haven't seen you for almost a year now. Alrighty, let's go into game number 2 very shortly here. Game number 2 was submitted by Lumpas, which is a Czech player. It is going to be a PvZ on Whirlwind. And I forgot to check the length of the game as well, so I'll have no idea. Okay, dokie. Getting into this game, Whirlwind, a very big map. The matchup, of course, is going to be a PvZ, and here in the top left we do have Hussar, the red Protoss, and his opponent is going to be none other than Lumpas, the Czech Zerg in blue colors, spawning here in the bottom left. So, you know, always better for Zergs to have cross positions on this map, but even though this is a little bit closer, oh my goodness, a little bit of a BM going down here. Well, okay, alright. Another thing I have to say, that even though this is Masters versus Masters, it is from the American servers, as far as I know, or if I can remember correctly. So, you know what they say, Masters on America a little bit, just a little tinsy little bit lower skill level than Europe. And Lumpas is from Europe, this guy is from America. He's being pretty BM, but yeah. What can you expect from a superpower? Right, so going to be a gateway expansion. Gateway expansions have been popping up lately quite a lot. And I really do not agree with the placement of the second pylon. Quite honestly, should be near the ramp. Meanwhile, Lumpas, he's going to go with a very standard opening, a 15 pull into a 16 hatch. And, yep, as Hussar is getting his first slot and a core, probably not going to be spending any further chrono boosts onto that Nexus, saving it up a little bit, and actually, has Lumpas seen anything? No, he has not. But he is taking a gas regardless. Maybe this is just a a thing he does. By the way, I want to point your attention to these two control groups. Lumpas is known that he does not hotkey his army ever. He only hotkeys his hatcheries and only uses hotkeys for commands. He never hotkeys his army. He does everything with a mouse, which is really really disconcerting, especially regarding the fact that on Europe he's ranked as a top masters. And it blows my mind, how can you get to top masters without ever utilizing more than one control group? It is just really strange. So Hussar going to be taking his expansion right now. He's got one Zealot out, not producing any more Zealots, but he's got a Mothership Core. Of course, Lumpas catches on to the fact immediately, and he sees the direction the Mothership Core is heading in. So he knows pressure's coming his way, and he's already making Zerglings in response to that, as link speed just now started as well. He is continuing to mine that gas though, and not taking a third base. So this is pretty much a 2-base opening. Or a 2-base strategy, straight from the get-go. Oh my goodness, this ramp is not walled off. Those Zerglings will be able to get past. Does he have more on the way as 2 Zealots and the Mothership Core enter his base? Time Warp going down on the Queen, but those Zealots not being able to catch up. And as long as the Queen does not take hits from the Zealots, which it is, it should survive. But as it is, the Queen does go down. In the meantime, we do have 4 Zerglings harassing the front here. A couple of probes will go down, but that is a blow for blow, to be quite frank. Oh, actually, Lumpas with some very, very good micro does not lose a single drone in that harassment. And 14 more lings are on the way as he sees that the front is undefended. And, well, yeah, I mean, Hussar should do very well to wall that off as soon as possible. Now, of course, Lumpas is kind of forced to attack because his natural is constantly under fire. So any new drones that are getting produced are getting killed immediately. Nice position here for Hussar though, having his units on hold position and completing the wall off with a pylon. But there's just too many links and only one force field here. Maybe a couple more pylons or a gateway behind these units would be good. Nice force field there, but a gap was left there by mistake, maybe just by not having a good control, and those links do get past. There's quite a lot of them. 3 Zealots without +1 will not cut it, and more are on the way. Lumpas, is he actually missing any injects? Well, he missed a couple. Oh my goodness, a huge Artasis pylon on-powering both of these gateways. That means that Hussar will only be able to warp in off of 1. Where did he actually warp in? He didn't. And he does have a Mothership Core. Not enough energy for a Photon Overcharge though, and more links are streaming it in across the map. Lumpas knows that he can do tremendous amounts of damage right here, and with only 1 gas the whole time, well, Hussar will not be able to transition out of this very comfortably because he just does not have the gas stockpile to throw down any tech. Let's see, Lumpas has been mining his gas this whole time, so, you know, after this is cleaned up, he can transition very, very nicely out of this, and now we see that he's resuming drone production. He knows how much damage he's done. And, well, 7 is actually only 7 probes killed, so that's a pretty good defense, from Hussar. I loved the force field right here, positioning of the units. Very nicely done, very deftly done, but at the same time, you know, he lost quite a lot of units and he lost all of his sentries. Let us see, the sentry count is only sitting on 1 and he's down to 28 probes. We have Lair on the way by Lumpas and double Evo chambers already, so most probably Mutalisk's play will be... Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, it looks like definitely like a Mutalisk play is in the works here, considering he's getting +1 melee and not ranged. So probably going to be Mutalisks, not the Roaches and Hydras. We'll have to see though. The lair is finished, so what is going to be your tech of choice? Oh, it is going to be Swarm Hosts. Infestors, or Infestation Pit, rather, Infestation Tech. The third is under fire by Mothership Core, and we do have a proxy pylon that I believe has gone out scouted by Hussar. Yes, it has. But he does see a huge force, or a decently sized force, moving across the map, and it gets separated, and those sentries are out there all on their own. Those zealots better come back and defend them, but I don't think it will be in time. Some haphazardly placed force fields do end up going down, but so is the Queen, and this third base, well, if Hussar manages to force a cancel, or better yet, kill it, that will be a huge pickup for him. He's actually evened it out in supply, and yeah, he does end up killing it. There was no cancel on there. So let us see. We have 2 spine crawlers in production. No Spire though, which makes me really confused because we have melee attacks on the way, and you know, is he just going to play Infesterling? There goes the Roach Warren going down because he sees that, you know, if this gets followed up with Stalkers or Immortals, he doesn't know what his opponent is doing so far. So if there is a follow-up plan to this, he might need Roaches. And basically this attacking with the Zerglings right here, we saw a moment ago, was just to buy him time to get these 2 spine crawlers up, which granted will not last for a very long time, but +1/+1 on the Lynx finishes. The upgrades on Zealots are 0-0. Both of these players just trying their hardest. Hussar to attack and Lumpas to defend. He only has Zerglings, and he will need to rely on his Larva Index. But now we do have Swarm Hosts coming onto the field. I do believe, quite honestly, that this is a desperation measure because he only sees Zealots and Sentries, so he probably assumes his opponent does not have detection, and he just does not have enough Larva to defend versus all of this. His units are just dying way too fast, and you know, Locusts, they are free, so why not get a couple of Swarm Hosts with all that gas just to stay alive? But you know, the lair will go down, and down it falls, bursts into a fountain of blood, and the infestation pit will go down as well. Does he have enough resources on Larva for additional Swarm Hosts? No, he does not. So once this falls, he won't be able to produce any more, but he already has 6 out, and 2 will be joining them, so he does defend this, but he's down to 1 base. 37 drones, and the Protoss is on 2 bases, comfortably mining, already has double robo, double observers being produced out of there, and robotics bay on the way, as he has seen those Swarm Hosts. So, well, I would say Hussar in a pretty good position, but conversely, if we look at the food counts, we see that Lumpas is actually ahead in food. Let's see why that is. Well, he's got a pretty big army. Hussar only has 8 Zealots, 2 Observers, and that is it. And I don't believe that is enough to take care of this. He needs at least 1 more Warpin of Zealots if he indeed wants to be taking care of the Swarm Hosts with Zealots. But this is a really nifty thing to do, just moving your Observer there, seeing as the Zerg has no anti-air, and using your Mothership Core to target down the Swarm Hosts. It even has attacks queued up, so this is the first time I have seen a Mothership Core defending Protoss versus Swarm Hosts, but it looks like the Lynx and Swarm Hosts, it is just too much for the Protoss, at least currently. But that will all change once these 2 Colossi end up popping out of these robo facilities. 2 additional ones immediately queued up, just because this robo bay is being gnawed upon by the Lynx. And with these observers and most of the Lynx gone, and now these Colossi will just fry the Swarm Hosts without any problems. Back to the Zerg base. He's down by 30 food, almost 40. And finally, what I believe was the plan straight from the start, he's finally planting that Spire down. But the Protoss, you know, he will have 4 Colossi momentarily. Doesn't have range, but it doesn't matter all that much. Because he is on 4 gateways, he's got 4 Colossi, the Zerg has literally nothing. And he's walled off. Oh my goodness. He clicked there, but... Oh... Okay, this is bad news for Hussar. His Nexus ends up falling down just because of him not re-walling correctly there, or just not warping a sentry. We still do have these proxy pylons in play though, so another shove at the Zerg, and probably Hussar will be able to take out this hatchery yet again. Spire still not completed. 3 spine crawlers I do not believe will be enough. And just as a result of not having enough hatcheries, Lumpas's resources are absurdly high. He's got quite a large bank, but I don't know, this game is really close. The Protoss has the army, he's got the tech, and the Zerg looks like he's dead. He's getting 8 Mutalisks though, and there is 0 anti-air here. The core... Yeah, the core is still alive, so I don't believe this will work. 12 Mutalisks now, and the Spire will get focused down. Do we have additional larvae anywhere? No. There was all the larvae. No additional larvae will be spawned, though, because this layer will get killed. And, you know, all it takes is for Hussar to warp in Stalkers. Just 1 round of Stalkers, and this is taken care of, but he's not warping in anything. And he does have the resources, he does have the gateways. Oh my goodness, instead he's getting double Stargate. Are you kidding me? Maybe he's not aware that this was actually the Zerg's last mining base. And, well, did he actually... Okay, so Lumpas, amazingly, with his last units, which are 12 Mutalisks, and his income being only 200 odd minerals, kills 4 Colossi and all the Zealots, and now all that is remaining here are 9 Stalkers. Will he be able to kill them? If he kills these 9 Stalkers, I don't believe there will... We are on... How many gates are we on? 5 gates, but can 5 freshly warped in Stalkers kill 8 Mutalisks? Oh my goodness, all the Stalkers go down! 4 more being warped in, but there is still enough Mutalisks to focus fire those down, and one by one they do fall. We still have 7 Mutalisks surviving amazingly. Lumpas takes this game. Oh my goodness, those... Oh my god, what just happened there? I don't believe what I just saw. Oh my goodness. I mean, that was a very nice decision making by Lumpas going for the Spire, but also I have to say this, he got extremely lucky, because if his Protoss opponent would pull back just slightly with the Stalkers and slightly with the Colossi to the pylon, warp in Stalkers, Current Boost Gates, warp in again, instead of putting down double Stargates, I think he would have won the game, but as it was, he just made a very bad decision after such a low econ game. After all the damage he did to the Zerg, he decides to throw down double Stargate as if the Zerg had 3 additional bases that he would have needed those. Jesus Christ. Alright, so Lumpas getting lucky there, but very entertaining game. Thank you very much for this submission. Okay, moving into next game. It is going to be a TVZ on Zerus Prime. And yeah, this is a map from the new season, of course. And this is a little bit of a longer one. This is 33 minutes long, so let us see what happens there. Meanwhile, let me thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And to those who are watching from my YouTube channel, the archives, well, just enjoy the games, have fun. So. Moving on. Zerus Prime, this is actually the first time I see this map. In the bottom left location we do have the red Terran juice, and opposing him will be Simon der Fels. Wow, the blue Zerg. This is actually I'm just going to call him Simon. just to make things easier. So let's take a look around this map a little bit before we do begin casting, shall we? Okay, so we have a decently sized main base. This area actually is quite... It's as if it was made to build multiple gateways and barracks there. The Terrans will love this map. Then we have the natural expansion, which has backdoor access with these rocks that you should be mindful of. Then we have a pretty small ramp here. I do believe it can be walled off with just 2 buildings, leaving a choke or maybe 0 choke. Then we have a third here, a humongous ramp right here. So probably taking thirds on this map will be very, very, very difficult, or actually keeping them alive will be difficult. Because, you know, you can form a concave as an attacker here, and then your opponent is defending in a choke. But if your defender has the high ground advantage, if you get high ground vision, you can form a very large concave like so, nullifying his positional advantage almost entirely. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Let's see how the fourth look like. Only one access path to the fourth, but both the third and the fourth actually very quite so droppable. So yeah, it's pretty interesting, and there are Xel'Naga watchtowers on both sides of the map. And this looks like what is supposed to be the 5th base. This is probably the most defendable location as far as the later expansions in the game go. Alright, back to the game. So what we have seen so far is 15 hatch from the Zerg, followed by a pool, and the Terran, well, he's just going to be expanding gasless off of a barracks opening. Neither of these players having found their opponent yet. Juice is just now going to do so, and looks like, yeah, Simon is just scouting with his overlords. Actually should have been sending his overlords down this way just to scout that location, since he is looks like he is very, very adamant about not using his drones to scout. So taking double gas, and let's see if he will end up getting 2 additional queens. That would actually say a lot. Well, he's not so far, even though he does have the supply for it. He's getting 1 though. He's getting 1 queen here. Let's see if he'll end up getting a second one in his main. Doesn't look like it's... it looks more as if he's trying to expand yet again. Oh no! He does end up getting the second queen. Okay, so this is a pretty solid. And we have a bunker here. Oh, this is actually a really nice wall off. A bunker, and then maybe it looks like a supply depot might fit onto there and make a complete wall off. So yeah, like I said at the start, I really think fast expanding on this map is definitely going to be very, very, very easy. Double gas being taken after 2 barracks have been constructed. I'm a little bit intrigued by this. I would have expected a factory follow-up to this, but no, we are going to be seeing additional racks. And what is going to be the other structure that our Terran hero Juice ends up building? It is going to be a factory. So this looks like, so far it looks like a rather quick medevac infantry pressure, because otherwise why would you get 2 racks if you don't want to be using it? Nice thing we are seeing here from Juice, having a marine over those rocks, deterring any zerglings that might try to eat away at those rocks. Of course, we do have a baneling nest going down as well for Simon, and I believe he will be getting a 3rd base just now. There we go. Perfect timing on that regarding the resources as well. And he's starting to spread his creeps quite aggressively. So he'll be defending with Ling Baneling. He's getting his lair up and additional gases just now. Let us see what lair tech he'll end up throwing down, and I am not at all surprised to see a Spire. Do we have double evolution chambers yet? No, but I really do think that they should be following suit. What I'm surprised on the Terran side of things so far is that he's not getting +1 attacks, instead getting armory. and add-ons for his infantry, so most probably will be going straight into Hellbat drops with those stimmed marines. But really, he should be getting the upgrade right now, especially since Hellbats don't cost gas, so he can be getting that upgrade without compromising his Hellbat production. He does have enough gas for it, so there is no excuse not to do that. Meanwhile, we have banding speed on the way for Simon. He's getting his third base up comfortably. Holy drones, 57 drones already at the 8:50 minute mark. That's actually a very, very good count. If we look at the unit counting station, we see that he only produced one zergling, maybe two zerglings, and one got killed. Yeah, two zerglings this whole game. And he's got one here to spot for any move-outs. Quite honestly, should have the towers. No excuse not to have them. That way you will be safe versus any ground movements and drops as well. We do see a scan going down somewhere. So yeah, it did go down in the main. Did see the spire. So I think that Juice should be switching into Thor production if he wants to be defending this effectively. He already does have missile turrets going up everywhere. And, well, I think he's very close to moving out. The stim is about to finish. First Mutalisks, though, are already out. They're not grouped together, though. 3 more trying to join up with this group. These two are going to try to go in, venturing bravely. And for a moment, though, it looked like he wants to snipe that supply depot, but no. Oh my goodness, nice Widow Mine hit, finishing off those 2 Mutalisks. So that's a loss of 2 Mutalisks that could have been avoided. And he's going to lose even more if he's miscontrolling like this. And here we have that move out from Juice while he's taking a third base over here. Most probably will be flying that over here maybe, or most likely over here. We'll have to see, but 6 Hellbats with this army. Everything will get healed, of course. Hellbats, don't forget, are bionic, so they do get healed by medevacs. No 4th base up yet for Simon. He does have a sizable army, though. All the bendings go in and detonate on quite a sizable number of infantry units, but mainly on the Hellbats. And this will no doubt get cleaned up very, very easily. The Mutalisks should chase down that medevac, even if it has boosted away, and prevent any further dropping, but they are a little bit lazy on doing that, so that will allow those 2 Hellbats to unload into the natural base and kill themselves some of those workers. 2-3 drones going down, but right now the Mutas are in pursuit and will clean this up. All the drones have been, of course, pulled away, so after all is said and done, quite an even exchange. 4th base coming up for the Zerg player, 50 versus 61 drones. And, well, yeah, the game is pretty much even at this point, apart from upgrades, because we don't have no double Evo chambers from the Zerg side of things. And quite honestly, it's well past time. He should start upgrading his units. Meanwhile, he's just getting as many meters as he can, and lings for defending his bases. But look at the number of missile turrets here, and of course there can be Widow Mines burrowed anywhere, which without observers Simon will not end up knowing about. I would really be a big fan of double Evo chambers way sooner with this. Maybe he just forgotten, but he is in for a surprise, you know, because if he doesn't build them very soon, he's going to get out upgraded. Now, speaking of upgrades, we don't have double NG base from the Terran neither. I'm trying to find an engineering bay here somewhere. He's got this one. I don't believe he's got another one anywheres. No, he doesn't. But what he does... Oh, he does, actually. Here we go. So he's getting +1/+1. And, well, looks like Simon is favoring tacking up. He wants to be switching into Ultralisks, most probably. But without those upgrades, those Ultras are not going to be very effective. You know, it's oh, a lot of those damaged zerglings. I wonder if this was a Widowmine drop or a Hellbat drop that I have missed. Probably a Hellbat drop, yeah. So it looks like Juice is really fond of using Hellbat drops in this matchup, but you know, Simon is catching on to that fact pretty quickly. The only thing I would say is that he's suffering from one control group syndrome, always moving his whole army around the map. 1-1 will be finishing in about 40 seconds time, and for the attack, and 1 minute for armor. And I think that's going to be our Terran player's next timing, and probably he will end up taking a 4th base behind that. And there are no 5th bases going down for our Zerg player, which quite honestly should have been. He's got a pretty large bank and only just now getting his upgrades for his ground army, so he's not going to be happy at all about his hugely under-equipped and under-upgraded units. Ultralisk Cavern going down, and like I said, you know, when you get Hive, you should get a couple of things rolling immediately as a Zerg. Now, first off, it should be the Ultra Cavern. I'm not going to even comment on the upgrades, because you should have had +2/+2 ages ago, but you definitely should get Adrenal Glands and maybe sprinkle in a couple of Infestors onto there. 5th base going down just now, and a 4th base for the turn. So yeah, so far this continues to be a pretty even game, both players moving more and more towards the center of the map, where probably the most clashes will occur. And in this, the creep spread by the Zerg player will be pivotal in his success. Because, you know, he can ward off against drops. Actually, I'm a little bit surprised that he's not getting Spore Crawlers in all of his bases. He's getting some here, but there are no spores here, and definitely no spores in the main, which is where all of his tech structures are. Imagine the Terran double dropping here with two medvacs, killing this off, and then even succeeding in killing off the majority of the army. He would be in such a good spot, because, you know, the Zergs, they rely on flooding lings after every battle to help them stay alive. Because, you know, they are the units that get killed off the fastest, especially with good Widowmine's positioning like this. But we do have a drop going down here, and this will kill off the 5th base. Creep or no creep, the units are just too far away, so this map proving to be a little bit bigger than maybe Simon would have thought. And these 2 spores, you see, this is what I said earlier. Having spores in and around your bases is a very good idea. You can limit the amount of dropping potential the Terran can do quite severely. But meanwhile, Juice did manage to get his 3rd up and running quite comfortably. First Ultras are entering the field of battle. We have 2-2 on the way for the Zerg. Still no Adrenal Glands, even though Chitinous Plating is finished. 1 Muta getting mowed down by the infantry, and there is quite a lot of Marauders here, not enough Banelings, so, you know, with these Widow Mines, perfect positioning for the Terran, actually, moving back through the Widow minefield, but his army is dwindling somewhat. I do believe he overstimmed a little bit, or stimmed too soon, and these Ultras, they have so many hit points that they will stay alive for quite a while, so I think Juice wanted to lure all the units, or as many units as he could have, into the minefield, but I really think that it hurt him a little bit. Just because I'm of the opinion that, if I saw correctly, those mines actually damaged his infantry as well, and he needs to be reproducing his army and remaxing way faster than he is currently. He's on 10 barracks, but not all of them are having add-ons, and well, I take that back. All of them are having add-ons, but he's just not producing out of all of them constantly, and he's starting to run very low on gas. Considering these gases are not taken well, He can remax on Marines if he wants to. He does have the bank for it, but I wouldn't actually mind building 3 planetaries here. And taking additional bases would definitely be advised at this stage in the game. Look at the Zerg. He's at 200 again, and you know, Juice so far he has had the upgrade advantage, but he has lost that right now. The Zerg army will be 2-2 very quickly here. Adrenal glands also being queued up. This drop will end up not surviving, even though it may kill this base, and it will. The base goes down, but the units will die for sure. It's not like Juice will miss those units in the long run, but it seems like both of these players, at the moment at least, are kind of stuck in the mentality of remaxing, and they're not taking additional bases, which both of them quite honestly should. More Widow Mines getting sprayed out all over the creep. And Simon, well, oh, he has to be really careful though. With all of these Widow Mines, nice hits there, and this is even the Terran army not even engaging, but now the cooldown is all off, which means Simon can engage with impunity. He does get a very good surround, and look at all the bits and pieces of Marauders flying about. Ultralisks, supported by Banelings, are just wrecking everything. And once again, if we look at the production tab, 54 Zerglings, but only 8 Marauders, just not enough production to keep Juice alive. I'm really wondering if he'll be able to win this game if this goes on for a longer period of time. And, well... Oh my god. Okay, Morling's going down with the explosions of the Widow Mines, but quite honestly, Juice should not be trying to engage at this point in time. He can just continue to reposition his mines. Actually, he can scan and kill creep tumors remotely right now, if he would care to do so. And, well, this Zerg army standing over the Widow Mines is not a good idea, but finally does get detection over there, so we'll end up killing every single one of them. And like I said, creep spread pretty good so far. And since most of the engagements are happening in the center of the map, that bodes very well for the Zerg player, but not so much for the Terran player. I actually wouldn't mind mass queen producing at this point in time, just to keep those ultras alive for a little bit longer for those transfusion. 3-3 almost done for the Terran player, so if Juice waits for a little while longer, he will be able to engage very cost efficiently versus his opponent, who is not getting 3-3 upgrades for his ground army. He is not transitioning into anything else. We don't have... I don't believe we have any additional tech out. No, we don't have a Spire. We don't have additional units being produced. Just laying Baneling Ultra. Frankly, this is not going to work. Look at how many Marauders the Terran has. This is just a direct counter versus the army composition that Simon is fielding right now. Again, a nice move behind the Widow Mine lines, but there's just too much Zerg over here. Oh my goodness, those disappeared really fast. So the 4th base has been taken out. Quite a lot of Ultras are remaining and are still alive, but I really do believe that a tech switch is badly needed on the Zerg side of things right now. Finally, 3-3 upgrades are getting queued up, but the Terran army is starting to get a very nice advantage over here. Certainly has the upgrade advantage, has the perfect composition to deal with what the Zerg has, and also quite a large number of medevacs, which causes this army never to die. Look at those Ultras disappearing from the field. They are quite sturdy units, but there's just Marauder after Marauder firing concussive shells after concussive shells. Actually, let me check that. Yeah, they do have concussive shells. And with this band medevacs, the healing is just too efficient for that infantry. The Zerg has still quite a large bank, not using all of his larva for production, which is really... Well, I'm going to put this diplomatically. It is really suboptimal. We do have Vipers on the field though, so that might make those Marauders way less effective, but just let me tell you that a Mutalisk switch at this point in time, a huge Mutalisk switch would be GG at this point in time. Like, imagine sending those Ultras and those Lings against the Terran, and when that army dies, producing 35 Mutalisks. Straight up. Do you really think, if you attack with all those Mutalisks immediately, do you really think the Terran is going to have enough Marines in time to defend? I don't really think so. Meanwhile, drop action is going on yet again, as probably Juice feels that he needs to buy time to set up and re-establish this base. This is a pattern I've come to notice while I'm casting this game. Every time Juice expands, he starts dropping. Every single time. That is a very good mentality to have, of course. But you can become very, very predictable if you do this every single time as well. But it is a good thing to do, because if you drop and expand behind that, you pretty much cause your next expansion to be quite safe. Your opponent most probably is going to be pulling his units to defend the drop, and not trying to find your next expansion and deny it. There's a nice Widow Mine block here. The only thing I would like to see is spread them out over this area a little bit better, so that they cover everything there. Oh, nice grab on the medevac. Is the Queen actually going to get that kill? Another abduct on the medevac, and the Queen does get the kill. So that was very cute, I have to say, by Simon. Income tab shows, though, that the Terran is hugely ahead. He is not maxed out yet, and right now the upgrades are even. But we do have adrenal glands in play. But still, the Terran army is a direct counter to what the Zerg has, and I fear this time there's just not enough Ultras. The Widow Mines end up burrowing, but not triggering quite enough. A lot of those Zerglings end up surviving because the Terran army pulled way too far back. Blinding clouds going down on the infantry as well, making half of them not participating in the battle, but this is what you never want to do, fighting near a planetary fortress. It is true we don't have high-sec auto-tracking on, but even still, you never want to be fighting near a planetary fortress. Lesson number 1. Lesson number 2, get more Ultras. We do have still 19 larvae, but which are not being used here, so Simon falling apart a little bit here, not macroing to the best of his ability, while the Terran is macroing constantly. I do believe, though, that there is quite a lot of queuing going on, maybe, in the barracks. Actually, there is not. He's producing almost perfectly and still managing to spend all of his resources. Another engagement will happen here, and I have to say that the army for the Zerg is really, really slow this time around, and this may be it. This may be curtains. Terran not even bothering with micro starter stepping on it or anything else, and there's the GG from Simon. Lads, take a lesson from this guy. Always use all of your larvae. Always, 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 always. Because really, Juice remaxed in a matter of minutes, and Simon was nowhere near. So, of course, this game was submitted by Juice. And let's go into the last game of today. After which I will correct some announcements that I have made previously. Of course, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you do like the production, please do tune in again. I'm doing this 4 days a week, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. I'm also doing other stuff. Recently, I have been announced as one of the casters for Dutch StarCraft League. I'll be casting the live event on June 1st in The Hague. All expenses paid by the DSCL, for which I love them. And props to them for that. Other people that are going to be there are, of course, going to be Lurlian, Maddles, Grubby, Red, Harston, Poyo, and all manner of other Netherlands esports scene goodness. Really looking forward to that. And yeah, if you have replays, if you yourself are a master level player, if you have replays of 1v1s where both players are masters and the game is roughly 20 minutes long, this was a little bit longer one, but I'm really looking for 20 minutes approximately. If I get more viewers, or if I get really good games, I might consider lengthening the show a little bit, but so far it's not really worth it. You know, the reward versus time equation not really working out so far, but it is getting better every day. So if you do have such replays, you can send them to me, to my email, which is below my camera window, BelleNOiR@sesam.cz, with the title Cast My Game. Please do include a short description in the video. Which one of the players is you, what roughly transpired in the match, and if you want me to make any shoutouts for you guys, if you have a Twitter, if you have a team, a website, whatever, include that as well if you want. I will be sure to note that down and shout out for you after I cast the replay. Because of course, if I tell you who submitted the replay, you are probably going to know who won. I don't want to be doing that, so I always say who submitted replays after the game is done. And without further ado, we are going into the final game, and afterwards I will have some more info about Followers Tournament number 8. So which one have we not scouted? I think it was this one. Okay. Okie dokie. So, going into this game, I don't actually know the name of this map, you have to forgive me. I haven't been playing StarCraft for 10 days or so. I'm just too busy, so I'm not even ranked in the new season yet. But if you know the map name, please do post it into the chat. Will be very happy if you enlighten me. In the top, we do have Big Balls, the orange Zerg player. And his opponent is going to be the green, grubby green Protoss, Mr. Zen from IMP. And just a little bit of a background on this game. These two guys played a game on ladder, and Zen ended up denying either the third base or the expansion of Big Balls with a cannon. It wasn't a cannon rush, it was just an opportunity for him, so he built cannons. Zen ended up not scouting it, losing the hatch and losing the game because of it. So he was really mad, he raged quite a bit, messaged Zen and told me that you wouldn't be able to beat me in a straight up macro game, let's have a rematch. He said, okay, let's have a rematch. So this replay is the said rematch. And this is also the reason why those two guys are chatting and being a little bit BM towards one another. So here goes the scout, right on time. Zen is probably going to end up denying this expansion for a little bit. Oh! Misclicking the probe actually and letting the hatch go down, so that's not good for him. And immediately goes, WTF, you hack, bro. I should have gotten that hatch down. So Nexus first, followed by a Forge, pretty standard. And actually is going into the base with the probe to scout for gases being taken, and sees that there are no gases being taken. And as the pool finishes, he will be leaving, because that means Zerglings are in production. You can actually stick around for 15 seconds longer, but he decides to play it safe and save his probe no matter what. And so far, he's just playing this by the books. Getting a cannon will be followed up by 2 assimilators in his main base. And let us see if Big Balls will be getting a third base around this time. He is sending out the drones to somewhere. Yep, he did click here, so he's probably going to get a third base. Meanwhile, the Zerglings have been... Oh, this is, by the way, this is a move you should always do. Look at this. See that? When you're going with a Nexus first into a Forge, you always want to make sure that you know in advance of any Zerglings approaching, so that you can do exactly what Zen did just right here, because you do not want those Zerglings getting past the 99% finished cannon. Because if they circle around, they can get into the main and cause all sorts of problems for you. Because basically you can't get rid of them until such a time that you get a Mothership Core or a Stalker, both of which you can only get when the Cyber Core finishes. So, you know, if that would happen, and Big Balls would be on top of his micro, he would still have those Zerglings inside your base right now. Which means if you're going for a fast tech, it is going to get scouted. So you either have to delay your tech, which will mean that you will miss your timing, and if the Zerg re-scouts you later on, then it will pretty much almost never work. Or you gotta tech and go ahead with it regardless, or you have to play macro game and take a fast third or relatively safe third base, just because of that scouting information the Zerg gets. So always put your probe ahead of the wall a little bit. Don't worry about it getting killed, just keep your eyes on the minimap and pull it back when you see any dots. So this is going to be a Stargate opening though, by the Protoss player. No gas is being taken yet, as the third is under attack by 2 Zealots and a Mothership Core. This, I have to say, is pretty standard. It is trying to force out a reaction from the Zerg player. Should actually be targeting the Queen with the Zealots. There we go. Funny thing. Oh, very nice piece of micro there. Funny thing, if you set the Mothership Core onto a Queen and they start firing and are not microed, the Mothership Core loses. It will die. But if you can get at least 1 or 2 hits onto the Queen before the Mothership Core engages the Queen and gets fired upon by it, the Mothership Core wins. This is exactly why, excuse me, exactly why the Zealot Mothership Core pressures are so effective. You just have to make sure that you get a couple of hits onto the Queen before the Mothership Core is in range. And as a response to this, we have quite a number of Zerglings out on the field. 31. Oh, again Zen with the Master Wall Off, the Gosu timing and awareness on this. Even walling off with another gate, but there is quite enough of Zerglings. Only 1 cannon, no sentries. The gateway is being chrono boosted for no apparent reason. I really think he was trying to chrono boost the core. There we go. And does it actually end up? Oh my goodness, the warp gate ends up finishing. That was really lucky for Zen, and Big Balls has to be hitting himself in the head right now and shouting behind his computer in disbelief at how lucky his opponent was. So he does end up getting that warp gate. That was really lucky for him. If he did not get that warp gate, man, that would have been... oh my goodness. That would have been so bad. But he did scout the Stargate. Considering he never moved even one of his overlords to scout what the Protoss player is doing, that's a good thing for him. This Oracle will not do very much. Oh, actually, it will get 1 Queen, though. But we have no anti-air. Wow. Actually, this Oracle might prove to be super effective. Considering Big Balls did see the Stargate and has not built Spore Crawlers in time, that is a big mistake on his part. We have additional spores being built here in the natural, but that Oracle, man, already has paid for itself, killing a Queen and 11 drones. Are you kidding me? The drone count is 67, 250, but that was a huge loss for the Zerg player, as Zen is getting his 3rd base. Will be trying to wall it off immediately, and probably will be getting Colossi straight afterwards. Another group of Zerglings being produced. probably will be looking for a third base somewhere. He knows it's not there, so I don't actually know why he's moving those lings over there. He should be moving them over here before the wall-off finishes. And this is actually really smart by Zen. The wall-off not being complete, he moves his sentries, but he has to be careful. There's a lot of zerglings, and he's not really paying attention to the sentries. They might go down, but no, quite a lot of them survive, and they do have more force fields. So very nice defense for Zen, and of course nice placement of this Oracle as well. On the Zerg side of things we have a Spire, but no Mutalisks in production. I don't believe has he no, he did not make any Mutalisks at all. Instead he's getting +1 range and carapace and +2 melee. He's got 3 Evil Chambers, are you kidding me? Oh, actually this is +1 flyer attacks. No, wait a minute. Yeah, he does have 3 evolution chambers. This is a really weird play. This is a really weird play. Getting a hive already at 12-minute mark. Well, I guess that's a normally timed hive, but I don't really see what Big Balls' plan is here. He's not making any decisive moves here. He's basically, I think he's a little bit lost, to be quite honest. He did see the Colossus Den, as Day 9 calls it, or Robotics Bay as it is named. Getting a second Spire even. Now this would suggest heavy airplay, but he's getting Corruptors, not getting any Mutalisks so far. And he's trying to get Lings and Hydras behind this. Man, I'm not really a big fan of this. I mean, look how constricted for gas he will be when he starts producing all of those unit types, actually. Meanwhile, we have air upgrades on the way for the Protoss. We have Void Rays on the way for the Protoss. We have Colossi, I do believe, a second Forge. What does actually see? Yeah, he does have 1 Colossus, but well, alright, so both of these players are doing really wonky stuff. And I really do believe that Zen is as much confused as I am right now. He even asks his opponent, Broodlords? Because he did see 2 Spires going up. Maybe. Let's look at the upgrades though, considering the Zerg has 3 evolution chambers and is really low on econ. Well, the Protoss, I mean the Zerg is... Let me just sum this up by saying that the upgrades are even in any given engagement. Because 1-1 for the Protoss versus 1-1 or 2-2 of the Zerg, that's still quite good. And Big Balls produced quite a large number of units right now, and we have all manner of creatures in the Zerg Swarm at this moment. We have Mutalisks, we have Corruptors, we have a dash of Hydras, we have Zerglings. Did he actually get the muscular upgrades? Yes, he had. So it's like he wants to be getting every single tech out there, taking a 5th base. And the Protoss is just... I hate to say this, but the Protoss is just camping at this moment. He's just waiting for his ideal army composition, maxing out at 200-200. And what I think he's shooting for is a couple of sentries, lots of Stokers, a couple of Colossi, and a couple of Void Rays. And, you know, that's the old Wings of Liberty Death Bowl from 2010 and 2011 that Zergs have had so much trouble against. And with this composition that Big Balls is getting, this is precisely the composition you do not want. You do not want Corruptors, you do not want Hydras versus this, you definitely do not want Mutalisks. What you do want, actually, is Infestors, Lings, Ultras, and Vipers. Ultralisks are so good in ZVP for the Zergs. That is the prime reason why every single Zerg on this planet right now is getting them, because they are so good. And look at this, the Protoss is shooting massively ahead in the upgrades, getting +3 on the attack side. I wonder what both of these players are doing, actually, because nothing's been happening for the longest time. Nice revelation going on that army. Time Warp slowing down those Lings, slowing down those Hydras even more. And just not enough Corruptors to kill all those Colossi in time, and we do have Void Rays in the play, which means the Lynx will get fried, the Hydras will get fried, the Mutalisks will get killed by the Stalkers very, very quickly, and all that will remain will be the Corruptors, which are essentially useless in the Zerg army at this moment. Now imagine Ultralisks, like 10, 12 Ultralisks in that composition, and just mass Ling behind that. That would have been a whole different fight. Maybe even a couple of Infestors to prevent blinks and kitings. And that would have been so good, but as it is, beautiful force fields, very few of them overlapping, trapping the majority of those links, and that was the only defending force that Big Balls had, and right now he's trapped into a corner. Lucky for him, Zed decided not to engage that group of Ling Baneling over here, because that would have been killed very, very fast. Big Balls already remaxed, but he just does not have the correct unit composition versus this. This is a deadly Protoss Death Ball with Void Ray Colossus support, and he just does not have the proper units to deal with this, nor the upgrades. He's only on 2-2, no air attack upgrades, aggressive blink forward, Sand feeling really, really confident versus this. He knows he's got this as long as his Colossi don't die, and there we go. Big Balls rage quitting yet another game versus this guy, and this is just 3 bases for the Protoss. Imagine if he was on 4, what he would have been able to accomplish. Alright guys, that was it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Now I have the announcement regarding Followers Tournament number 8. I have said it at the start of the video, I will say it again. We are moving the tournament by 1 week because I am a dumb ass, my brain is stupid, and I am very, very forgetful. So originally, on Friday, I announced that the tournament is going to be played on 11th this month. It is no longer true because I remembered in a very rare moment of clairvoyance and divinity that I actually am not even in town that week. So we're moving the tournament forward by 1 week. It is going to be played on Saturday 18th. You will be able to sign up for this fan-run, fan-based, and finance out of my pocket, unless I get sponsors, tournament on 18th of May, which is also Saturday. You will be able to sign up for it since following Monday or this Friday, depending on how much time I can devote to this and how fast I am with the preparations. Just to recap, the tournament is fan-based only. It is only for the followers of the stream, so if you want to play, make sure you are following the stream or you are my follower on Twitter. Either one will count this time. It is 16 players, best of 3 single elimination with best of 5 finals and best of 3 third place match. The prize pool is $100 American, 32 goes to the winner, 16 to second place, 8 to third place, and $4 per capita to all the others that make it into the bracket. The applications, as always, will be handled on first comes, first served basis. So the faster you sign up, the greater chance you have of being among those that do make it into the top bracket. If you do not, however, don't despair. You will be added into the waiting list, to the substitution pool, and in case some of the top 16 players won't show up for the tournament, which we will find out during the check-in period, we will start drawing substitutes from the substitute pool in order in which their applications came in. So I think that's all I wanted to say. Just remind you guys, if you have a 1v1 replay where both players are masters and it's approximately 20 minutes long, you can send it to my email address, which is down there below. It is BelleNOiR@cesnam.cz. Please do include your player name in the replay if you decide to do so, and a short description so that I don't have to play every single replay before I cast it. Actually, I would prefer not to do that because I don't want to be spoiled. I want to be surprised as much as you do, guys, when I cast those. So of course I'm really looking for more submissions, because especially Terran matchups, because I have very few Terran replays, and I'm surely and quickly running out of those. So, yeah. And of course, if you like the production, I would like to welcome you as a follower of the stream. You can also check out my Twitter and Facebook for more news from the StarCraft 2 scene and more of my casting if you like that one. And of course, tell your friends. If you really like my work, I would be very appreciative if you would tell your friends and get a little bit more viewers onto the stream. That's, you know, I'm doing this for free. I'm doing this in my own time. I'm doing it because I love it, and this is the only reward that I actually have. If people enjoy it, and if there is enough people in the chat so that I feel that this actually has any purpose. Once again, thank you for watching. Have a nice rest of your evening. And until next time, which is tomorrow, remember to stay safe, good luck, have fun, storm first, and ask questions later.